Today we're going to turn plain chicken and plain pasta into the most amazing dish ever. Honestly, this is my favorite dish ever. And so if you'll stay tuned, I'll show you how I make Cajun chicken and creamy pasta. And it may be just one of your favorites too. So stay tuned. Okay, you need to plan ahead if you're going to make this Cajun chicken and pasta because you need to marinate it a minimum of 2 hours, but the longer you marinate it, the better. I'm making it now, and I'm going to let it marinate while I'm at work, while we were asleep all night, and while I'm at work all day tomorrow. And then we're going to cook it for dinner. So let's show you the marinade. You will need two regular sized chicken breast. You can cut it in strips or chunks like this. Just bear in mind you're going to put it on top of pasta, so whatever is the easiest for you to do. So what you need for the marinade is half a cup of olive oil. You're going to need half a cup of prepared ranch dressing. Get that out of here. And I've already got it mixed together, but it's a tablespoon of sugar. It's a teaspoon of white vinegar, a teaspoon of citrus. You can use lemon or lime. I'm using lime. And a teaspoon of Worcestershire. And just mix all that in and put it in here. My sugar is kind of granulated in here. That's okay. Getting it out here. And I'll probably end up mixing that up with the fork. And then next you need some seasonings. This is a Cajun dish. I like Tony Chachere's. You can use your favorite Cajun seasoning, but you need 2 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning. It's 1. And if you put a little more in there, that's fine. You need half a teaspoon of black pepper. Quite honestly, this is one of my favorite dishes. I love it. And you need a teaspoon of salt. I'm not going to get another spoon out. I'm just going to do 2 halves. Half. 1. Okay. And I think I will use my fork to get this nice and blended. And then I'll use the spoon to help me get it in the chicken. So just mix it until it's well incorporated together. You can use a whisk if you'd like to. I get excited every time I make this. This is probably my absolute favorite. And I found this recipe in a newspaper article. All right. Oh, it smells good. Now, I have this cut up in chunks in a Ziploc bag. So, all I'm going to do is pour it in this bag. Oops. Now, you can mix it in a bag if you like. That might be easier, but this is how I'm doing it today. Yeah, probably the easier thing to do would be to mix it in the bag and then add your chicken. But whatever works and whatever you're thinking of at the time. So we get all this. And make sure you mix it well so you don't have granulated sugar in here. Paper towel, wipe my hands. So just kind of massage it in the bag, make sure every piece is covered. And then you're going to zip it up, but make sure you get the air out. Zip it up, make sure it's nice and sealed. Make sure you have a good zipper bag that's going to hold the seal. and then lay it in your refrigerator where it's all covered in marinade. Minimum of 2 hours, but the longer the better. So like I said, I'm putting this in the fridge. We're going to bed. I'm going to work. And then when I get home from work, I'm going to prepare my chicken. So stay tuned for the rest of the recipe. Hello there. And so my chicken has been marinating. Remember, I put it in before I went to bed last night. And it's been marinating in the refrigerator all night while we slept and all day while at work. So now it's time to prepare this chicken. You don't have to keep it marinated that long if you don't want to, but you do need to keep it marinated a minimum of 2 hours. But the longer you can do it, the better flavor it's going to have. So let's get this cooking. So all I'm going to do, I've got my pan started to heat. And remember, there's olive oil in here, so you don't really need to grease the pan. It's fine. Just dump this whole bag in here. And it's better to heat the pan first, which I've been trying. So all we're going to do is cook this chicken until it's completely done and browned on all sides. So I'm going to cook this chicken, and then I'm going to prepare my pasta, and then when we come back, we're going to make the sauce, and then we'll put it all together and show you the end results. So I'm really excited because this is my favorite meal, so I hope you stay tuned. Okay, the chicken is cooked. It has just a slight crust on it, and it is done through and through, so you want to make sure it is thoroughly cooked. I've already cooked and drained my pasta. I use penne. This is my favorite for this because the little tunnels in the pasta holds the sauce, and it's just really yummy. But you can use your favorite pasta. Bow ties would be good just as well, or, you know, anything that you like. So let's get started making our sauce. And you're going to need about 2 tablespoons of butter. And you're going to put that in your pan and melt it. Now you can use garlic cloves, which I normally do, but I was out, so I'm going to use garlic powder. So let's get this butter melted. Melted butter smells good too. And once you get the seasonings in here, oh, it smells so good. I'm just going to let that melt a little longer, and I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. So since I don't have fresh garlic, I'm going to put about a tablespoon of garlic powder. Okay, and get that stirred in. There's that sizzle I was waiting on. Okay, so just stir that in. You can always make substitutes in most cases. You know, if you're out of something, you know, think, what can I use instead? So I may do a video on that one if you'd like to see something like that, you know. If I don't have this, what do I do? So if you'd like to see something like that, let me know. I will be happy to put a list together. Alright, so you're going to put a little Cajun seasoning, and I'm just going to put a tablespoon because the chicken is a little spicy. The chicken is good on its own, but the sauce here in the pasta just throws it over the top. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of black pepper. I guess I need my spoon. And the salt and pepper and Cajun seasoning you can do to taste. Okay, I'm going to stir that into my butter. Now I do like the freshly grated Parmesan cheese, or you can grate it yourself. This variety will kind of thicken it up a little bit. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in here, maybe a tablespoon, to act as a thickening agent. That'll do nicely there. And you can use heavy cream or you can use evaporated milk. And I usually use the evaporated milk to save a little bit on calories. However, I wouldn't call this a low-cal dish. But I shook it up before I opened it. So I'm just going to add this to my seasoned butter. And I'm going to stir it. And you want to bring this to a boil and then let it thicken. So hopefully this pan will get hot enough. So you're going to put your cheese in now. And you're going to put about half of a cup of this cheese here. And then you want to save some to top off your chicken after it's ready. Alright, so we're just going to stir that in there. Oh, it smells so good. And then we're just going to cook it until it thickens a little bit. So honestly, this is just one of my favorite dishes. I found this recipe in a newspaper several years ago. Probably 10 or 11 years ago. And I tried it. There was a misprint for the pepper. It had to be a misprint because it was way too much pepper. So after that first time I made it, I toned it down a little bit. And I've just kind of tweaked it over the years to kind of make it my own. And just, you can do that too. So, yeah, I get excited when I make this dish. I just absolutely love it. Alright, I'm trying to get that to boil. Once it boils, it will thicken quickly. So I'm just going to let that. So I hope you will try this because believe me, you will love it. And you can tone down the spices if you don't like it too spicy. So, you know, I like Tony Chachere's. You can make your own Cajun seasoning. And, okay, it's starting to boil. I can post a recipe to do that. It's really simple. You know, I like to make my own taco seasoning, and I've posted that one before. But, oh, this is just so divine. And I can't wait to eat it. So I'm just going to let it boil a little bit. It's not going to get thick like Alfredo sauce. So don't be expecting that. But just let it cook a little bit. Get all those flavors in there. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's thickening up a little bit. It's still going to be runny. Just bear that in mind. But I think it's ready to pour over our pasta. So I've got my prepared pasta right here. And I'm going to pour it in. And as it sits a while, it will thicken up a little bit. So don't worry. I mean, it's really not a big deal at all. You want some garlic bread and a salad to go with it. This would really complete the meal. Alright, so I'm just going to stir this in my pasta. Pasta's still hot. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I love this stuff. Okay, I did turn the heat off, so this shouldn't cook anymore. Now it's time to plate it up. So all you do is you put your pasta with your sauce on your plate. Now you don't have to cut your chicken in nuggets. We do because it's just easier to eat and you don't have to have a knife. Okay, that looked good and creamy. But here's the kicker here. So I'm going to put some chicken on top. Now you can butterfly your chicken breasts and leave them like that. But like I said, I like the nuggets or strips because you don't need a knife to eat your dish. Now just top it off with a little Parmesan. And now you're ready to enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you try this dish, please comment below. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to see your pictures of it. And if you did like this video, please share it on your social media. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified when I post a new video. I do cooking, and I do loom knitting and crochet, and some other things like photography. So I hope you will join us on this journey of creativity. And until the next one, God bless.